Hello, my cuties. I apologize that this video is so late. I do not know how the day got away from me. I feel like I was being productive and then I looked at my clock and it was already 4:00 p.m. So anyways, I'm here now, ready for action and ready to rock and roll. So I will have your video out to you earlier than I did today, tomorrow. A couple of announcements before we dive in. One, Mr. Brooks sent out an email about the virtual talent show. So he said, as we communicate with our class today, to please make sure that we mention that and encourage you guys to record your talent and send it in. He said that not all the videos will be chosen for the talent show, but it will be awesome for you to audition. And I know that I've seen so many of you guys express your talents, and how cool would it be to be in the video? And I would love to see our class being represented because we're the best class in the school. I also wanted you to know that on that colorful calendar that I sent you with the breakdown of what work to do this week, at the bottom there are spelling words. So make sure that you are practicing those for the end of the week. Jim's parents, thank you so much. They caught that in the packet, it goes directly from 3.4 in the math stories, and after 3.4, it's 3.6. And on the weekly schedule that I sent out to you, it says to do 3.5. So there is no 3.5, so please do 3.4 on Thursday and then 3.6 on Friday. So please continue to do one a day. For work today, you had a bunch of awesome stuff. For the videos moving forward, I may not go over every single part of your academics. I may pick which ones that I think that would be most beneficial for us time-wise. So for example, today we're going to go over the constructed response that you answered. We're going to go over the skill that you're working on this week for ELA. And we are also going to go over the math story. Okay, so I know that there is some other work that you completed today that won't be in this video. So if you do have specific questions about anything else, please reach out to me. I want to give some shout outs to people who are commenting on the videos, showing me that you're staying on top of your stuff. It really has been some really like golden all-stars. I mean, you know who you are. If you are the people who every single day you're commenting and you're participating, I am so proud of you. I just want you to know that I know who you are. If you're being consistent, I do recognize you. And I'm just so incredibly proud of your discipline during this time. So shout out to Siraj, Ahmed, London, Cody, Samuel, and Kyra, and all of those people also answered the spirit animal question, which means that you were listening, and I'm so proud of you. Also, shout out to Jim and Serena, Monica and Fernanda, who Jim and Serena also commented, awesome work, and Monica and Fernanda found other ways to connect with me and confirm that they completed the work. Again, this video on Friday got 40 views, so I know that there are more of you doing the work and completing the work than I'm seeing. Please find a way to contact me to tell me who you are, because I'm going to keep calling you if I don't know. Not that you're in trouble, but I just want to provide support to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can in order to set you up for success for 4th grade. Okay, so this week for ELA, let's start there. So make sure that you have your ELA packet with you. You are supposed to read the story Shopping Trip. And the skill that we're focusing on this week is character traits, okay? So I wrote the definition of character traits here. Also in my email that I'll send you with the video link, I found an awesome resource with a million examples of different character traits. So you can either open it up on some electronic device, or if you have a printer at home, you can print it and use it to come up with strong examples of character traits for the next few days. So a character trait are words that describe a character's personality or qualities that make them who they are. In other words, how would you describe that character to someone else? Okay, so you're describing what the person's qualities. So here are some examples that I wrote down. There are obviously so many more. These are just the first ones that came to my head. We have active, calm, bossy, brave, clever, cruel. energetic, eager, fair, foolish, intelligent, impatient. Those are all examples of a character trait, okay? So let's dive into that. I thought the story was cute, simple. It was definitely an on-grade level book, so you shouldn't have had too much trouble understanding the main idea, who the characters were, that the problem was that the baby was changing the life, that the solution was that dad is, kind of coming to the rescue and providing more ways for the other child to feel at home and excited. And the lesson learned is that things can continue to be new and exciting despite change. Yes? So the question that's being asked, it says, look back on page 7, what kind of person is dad? So this particular question is asking us to determine dad's character traits based on page 7, right? So we could go to various parts of the book and say a few different things about dad, right? Like at the end of the book, when he brought Casey to the pet store, I would describe him there as quite spontaneous, right? Like spontaneous means that you're doing something out of the blue, that you're willing to be adventurous. But the question's not asking us that. The question's asking us, what are dad's character traits on page 7? So you really need to make sure that that's where you're going for your evidence and for your resources. Okay, I don't know why it keeps looking like I'm looking this way. I'm trying to look like straight into the camera, but it won't let me. Okay, so it says, what kind of person is dad? So I wrote a beginning of year 3rd grade level, very simple with the basics, restate and answer, piece of evidence, and explain. So if you are adding more meat to your constructed response, I really encourage that. But this is the bare minimum that you would need to get full credit of understanding the question. So you don't have to say the same exact character trait as me, as long as you have specific evidence to support your response. So I said, dad is a helpful person. On page 7, dad says, you always do the shopping. Casey and I will go. This proves that he wants to assist his wife by kindly completing a necessary task for her. Boom, 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 yeah. Answered the question. Oh, Serena, by the way, and everyone else, I did create a super pig today. So if you stay till the end of the video, you'll get to see the super pig. All right. Oh, I forgot to go over the vocabulary words for the week. I'll just say them out loud so that as you keep reading the shopping trip throughout this week, you can say the words correctly. I would encourage you to read the books in your packet out loud, because then you can read your reading log book of choice in your head, and that can be more of your own enjoyment, and this will be practice for your fluency. So read the books in the packet out loud. Repeat after me. This word is laundry. Section, shelves, spoiled, store, thousands, traded, variety. Awesome job. I can hear you through the screen. Amazing work. Math stories. After this week, in the emails, I'm going to be providing you guys 4th grade option math stories, because I know for many of us, I'm not going to use the E word because it's not, but we did this in the first week of school. So if you struggled with math stories today, you need to let me know, because looking at this problem, I assume that everyone is able to understand it right away based on what I perceive you to know at this point in the year. Okay, so this is a part A and B question. The first one says that there are 2 ladybugs sitting on a leaf. Each ladybug has 6 legs. How many legs do they have altogether? So I made this model here. The 2 circles represent each ladybug. The 6 represents how many legs they have. And here are my 2 equations to get to my final answer. I have 6 plus 6 equals 12, but I also have 2 groups of 6 equals 12. And my final answer for part A is 12 legs. So remember that your unit, the question's asking you about the legs altogether, not ladybugs. So if you said 12 ladybugs, that's actually not correct. It has to be 12 legs. And then the same thing for the bottom. I already knew that this was 12, added 1 more additional ladybug, got 12 plus 6, or 3 groups of 6 equals 18 legs. And then I wrote both final answers at the bottom. Yeah? All right, awesome. Go ahead and get comfy. We're going to read Tales of Despereaux together. And then if you finish the video, then I will show you the super pig. All right, get comfy cozy. On Friday, before the weekend, we finished chapter 35. So today we're starting chapter 36, What Meg Carried. So remember last time the prisoner in the dungeon put Despereaux under the napkin on his tray to save him. Despereaux overheard Roscareau's evil plan with Meg to kind of take over and for her to be princess, and he got upstairs. The cook noticed, asked Meg to kill it. Meg attempted to kill it but cut off Despereaux's tail, but he still survived. So chapter 36 says, What Meg Carried. And while the mouse slept, Roscareau put his terrible plan into effect. Would you like to hear, reader, how it all unfolded? The story is not a pretty one. There is violence in it and cruelty. But stories that are not pretty have a certain value too, I suppose. Everything, as you well know, having lived in this world long enough to have figured out a thing or two for yourself, cannot always be sweetness and light. Yes, we know that, especially right now, right? Listen, this is how it happened. First, the rat finished. Once and for all, the job had started long ago. He chewed through Gregory's rope all the way through it, so that the jailer became lost in the maze of the dungeon. Late at night, when the castle was dark, the serving girl Megarry-So climbed the stairs to the princess's room. In her hand, she carried a candle, and the pockets of her apron were 2 very ominous things. In the right pocket, hidden in the case, they should encounter anyone on the stairs, was a rat with a spoon on his head and a cloak of red around his shoulders. In the left pocket was a kitchen knife, the same knife that Megarry-So had used to cut off the tail of a certain mouse, that Meg carried with her as she climbed up, up, up the stairs. She shouted to the rat, "It's dark, isn't it?" "Yes, yes," whispered Roscareau from her pocket. "It's quite dark, my dear." "When I'm princess," began Meg. "Shh," said Roscareau. "May I suggest that you keep your glorious plans for the future to yourself? And may I further suggest that you keep your voice down to a whisper? We are, after all, in a covert mission," meaning like top secret mission. "Do you know how to whisper, my dear?" "I do," shouted Meg. "Then please," said Roscareau, "please institute this knowledge immediately." "Ugh," whispered Meg. "All right." "Thank you," said Roscareau. "Do I need to review with you again our plan of action?" "I got it all right here in my head," whispered Meg. Then she tapped the side of her head with one finger. "How comforting," said Roscareau. "Perhaps, my dear, we should go over it again. One more time, just to be sure." "Well," said Meg, "we go into the princess's room, and she will be sleeping and snoozing and snoring. And I will wake her up and show her the knife and say, 'If you does not want to get hurt, princess, you must come with me.'" "And you will not hurt her," said Roscareau. "No, I won't, because I want her to live so that she can be my lady-in-waiting when I become the princess." "Exactly," said Roscareau. "That will be her divine commence." "Ah," whispered Meg. "Yes, she is divine, as is this plan." Meg had, of course, no idea what the word divine meant. But she very much liked the sound of it, and she repeated it over and over to herself until Roscareau said, "And then," continued Meg, "I tells her to get out of her princess bed and come with me on a little journey." "Ha," said Roscareau, "a little journey, that's right. I love that understatement of a phrase, a little journey. Oh, it will be a little journey indeed, it will. And then, said Mig, who was now coming to her favorite part of the plan, we take her to the deep downs and we give her some long lessons in how to be a serving girl. And we give some short lessons in how to be a princess. And when we're all done studying, we switch places. I get to be the princess and she gets to be the maid. Reader, this is the very plan that Roscoe presented to Mig when he first met her. It was, of course, a ridiculous plan. No one would ever, not for one blind minute, mistake Mig for the princess or the princess for Mig. But Miggery So, as I pointed out to you before, was not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And reader, too, she wanted to desperately become a princess. She wanted, oh how she wanted. And it was because of this terrible wanting that she was able to believe in Roscoe's plan with every ounce of her heart. The rat's real plan was, in a way, more simple and more terrible. He intended to take the princess to the deepest, darkest part of the dungeon. He intended to have Mig put chains on the princess's hands and her feet, and he intended to keep the glittering, glowing, laughing princess there in the dark forever. Oh my gosh, why is this book so scary? Alright, if you lasted this long, you get to see the super pig, super pig. I love all of your suggestions. I will say, though, that I use my colored pencils to create these, and they're all becoming very dull, and I don't have a sharpener with me where I am. So I don't know how many more super beasts I'll be able to create with a beautiful coloring job, but I may be able to do some more, like, just general ones in the future. How cute is he? He looks so confused. He's just like, why aren't you kids in school? All right, my cuties. I miss you very much. I love you very much. So I hope you have a great day. I again apologize for sending this out so late. Please forgive me. I'm a human. I make mistakes too. But I love you.